Have you ever found yourself reading a manhwa where the main character is so messy, so problematic, so traumatized that you physically cringe, but you just can't stop reading? Well, let me introduce you to Lost in the Cloud, a manhwa so packed with manipulation, trauma dumping, and emotional chaos that it might just leave you questioning your taste. If you've ever looked at a couple and thought, yeah, they are toxic, but I want to see how this ends, then Lost in the Cloud is exactly what you need. But be warned, this isn't a fluffy, feel-good romance. It's about characters who are quite frankly disasters. If you want to see how two mentally unstable people can fall in love and grow, then this is the manhwa for you. If not, please move on, I'm begging you. Before I continue, please know that this manhwa includes but is not limited to the following tags: betrayal, manipulation, blackmail, high school, slow burn, abuse, stalking, mental illness, broken families, bullying, sexual assault, pedophilia, homophobia, enemies to lovers, and so on. Lost in the Cloud stands out to me for several reasons. First, it's an enemies to lovers relationship done right. Secondly, it proves that smut is not necessary to build an incredible bond between your characters. And lastly, it's the first time I have seen a manhwa where a character gets revenge on someone who kissed them without permission while they were asleep. If I were to rename this manhwa, it would be called A Series of Unfortunate Events. And anyone who has read this would think the same. For starters, the main character, Skylar, is a stalker. He has been secretly taking pictures of his closest friend in school, Chanyeol. By the way, this is illegal in South Korea. Cirrus, our main lead, finds out and at first agrees not to share this shocking truth with Chanyeol, the victim of the stalking. Cirrus turns out to be a master manipulator and blackmails Skylar into being his personal toy. Cirrus kisses Skylar in the middle of the streets to piss off his 7th stepmother, and that kind of unlocks Skylar's hidden trauma. Their relationship then spirals into a mess of threats, trauma dumping, and emotional warfare. And somehow, they end up falling for each other. In fact, Skylar is the one that asked Cirrus, who was blackmailing him, to be his boyfriend. As much as I love this manhwa, the ending feels incomplete. Like, what happened with Skylar's stalking obsession with Chanyeol? Why was Cirrus's evil stepmother introduced just to be forgotten? And Skylar's old best friend completely erased from existence. I was so sure he would be reintroduced at some point. I was waiting for some of those loose ends to tie up, but nope, the ending just left me hanging. But I guess that's kind of okay, because not everything needs to be resolved at the end. Listen, if there's one character in this entire manhwa who is 100% lovable, it's Candy, the dog. A literal ball of fluff and cuteness. I was genuinely more emotionally invested in her survival than half of the human characters. If the author had killed Candy, I would have rioted. Who do I hate most among the characters? It's hard to say, because in this particular manhwa, everyone is problematic. Everyone has trauma. Everyone is making horrible decisions. Everyone is hurting the next person. So instead of choosing, let's just agree that the entire cast needs therapy. My first impression of Skylar was that he was a pivot at best. Cirrus seemed like a walking red flag. I didn't feel bad for Skylar in the beginning because, well, he was a literal stalker. Then I met Cirrus and realized, oh, he's even worse, with his terrible personality and what was revealed later to be his inferiority complex. If I had read this story and stopped during seasons 1 and 2, I would have happily pushed both of them off a cliff. But by season 3, I found myself appreciating their twisted, messy character growth. Somehow, they made it work, which is one of the reasons I love this manhwa. It managed to capture the growth and evolution of characters in a very realistic way. I must say, after reading the first few chapters of the manhwa, I had one thought. How can a stalker be this bad at covering his tracks? If you're going to be a creep, at least learn about digital privacy. At first, I felt bad for him just a little. Then the flashbacks revealed that he was always kind of a jerk. And I was like, oh, I see. You're just like that. I have never disliked a main character as much as I disliked Skylar in season 1. There was just so much not to like. How am I supposed to feel anything for someone that is mean to his mom, doesn't care about his sister, bullies his classmates, assaults his best friend, and stalks someone that was looking out for him? The relationship between Skylar and Cirrus started as a stalker and blackmailer thing. Their dynamic then shifted to Cirrus aggressively obsessing over Skylar and then manipulating him at every opportunity. At the end, they came to appreciate themselves, genuinely care about each other, and wish the other happiness. It's a slow-burn romance in the most chaotic, unhealthy way possible, but it's hard not to love it. One thing this manhwa does right is the dialogue. The way we get glimpses into the main character's thoughts, especially Cirrus, makes him even more terrifyingly complex. If we didn't have that, he would just come off as a heartless manipulator. But instead, we see how deeply messed up he truly is. Because what do you mean you're a child and you have decided to dedicate your life into making your father's life miserable? I have to give credit where it is due. The art is stunning. The level of detail, impeccable. The multicolored eyes, it gets me every time. It was a beautiful choice. Even when the characters are being absolute menaces, at least they look good doing it. This scene exists though. Lost in the Cloud kept me on my toes. Every single chapter ends in a way that makes you want to keep reading. It is not a comfort read. It's a psychological roller coaster that will have you clutching your phone at 3 a.m. whispering, just one more chapter. There are 3 scenes that really shocked me in Lost in the Cloud, which is shocking in itself because a major plot twist comes every 10 chapters. First was the main character's kiss in the middle of the streets with everyone else there. I was so shocked. Secondly, we have Minwoo's first act of revenge with the blindfold. I was so shocked. I could not believe that his friend would do that to him. And lastly, when Cyrus's stepmother had sex on Cyrus's bed intentionally for him to find out. That was so crazy. I really think this manhwa focuses on mental health and the importance of family in our lives. I rate this manhwa 10 over 10. Should you read this? If you love intense, dark, psychological romances with complex characters and morally questionable decisions, yes, you should definitely read this. If you're looking for something soft and sweet, please run the other way. This manhwa isn't about falling in love with the characters. It's about watching them crash and burn and explode and somehow rise from the ashes. What do you guys think? Did you love Lost in the Cloud or did it emotionally destroy you? Let's talk in the comments. And if you love your manhwas as much as I do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the community. See you in the next one. Bye!